Hello to my Aquarius. This is Queen Moon Rock coming to you with your general reading, Aquarius. Happy new moon. We had a new moon in Libra. It started out in Libra and then later on in the day it moved into Scorpio. So happy new moon. Libra is the scales of justice, scales of balance, right? And Libra rules 7th house. 7th house is the house of relationships. You all are a divine masculine zodiac sign. So masculine energy would be the product of what you received, right? The product of what you received, right? So it's sender energy. So we got receiving energy and we have sender energy, right? And so relationship, 7th house is really about, like I said, relationship house. It's traditionally denotes marriage and partnerships, but also the idea of open enemies, quarrels, and disputes. It is the house of contractual partnerships, but also litigation. A deeper look reveals the interesting links between these things. So you want to find out what your zodiac sign is in your 7th house. You all rule 11th house, Aquarius. High vibrating Aquarius are innovative, independent, and also visionaries. So you want to make sure whoever you're connected with, that you may have their back 100%. And so you want to make sure you don't have any open enemies, right? People that you speak highly of them when you are in their face and away from them, but behind your back, they're not speaking so highly of you because of who they're linking up with, right? And so you end up being shocked. You actually end up being shocked. So this is where you get a chance to, even though your energy is directed outward, right? This is the chance where you get a chance to purge your divine feminine energy from toxic feminine energy, even if it's in male form, okay? Anybody who feels like they know certain things about you and they're judging you, you got to remember with Scorpio, we're not talking about a Scorpio, just so we're crystal clear. With Scorpio, that rules 8th house, right? So that helps you that rules 8th house. 8th house is about intimacy and shared possessions. So you may have had intimate conversations with people like your mom, your dad, your adult kids, maybe about who you dated, things that you could have, shared conversations with things like, who you were married to. You may have shared space with them, all sorts of things. People may have told them stories about you or your past, or they may know things about you that you're not aware of. And so they may have their own judgments about you themselves. And so they may have their own opinion of you that you're not even aware of. So that would make them, maybe project something on to you behind your back that you're not even aware of. So you don't want to be shocked by their projection of you when you're speaking highly of them, and therefore it's causing you nightmares, right? Secretly causing you nightmares. So it's time for you all to wake up. It's time for you to wake up and feel and heal your divine feminine energy, right? So as you're receiving these downloads, you want to make sure you're choosing the product of your intelligent decision is that you are so nurtured. This is your moon sign, that you're so nurtured that you're able to spot people who are turning their nose up at you, even if it's your own adult kids, even if it's your parents, even if it's your friends or people you said are your friends, those kind of things. Let's start this out. So this is a real opportunity to heal your divine feminine energy within, right? Here we have the 4 of Wands here. The challenge is who you let back into your life. Some people feel like something is their way or the highway. So something has ended. You've awakened from some nightmares, right? But the damage is already done. The damage is already done. Some people have said some things to some people about you that have really changed the course of some relationships. Really have changed the course of some relationships. And they've already said some things to you. They may have said, oh, I know some things about you that you don't know that I know, right? They may not have told you what they know about you. And again, this is masculine energy. right? So if something may have changed and it was very disrespectful to you, right? It ended a relationship. Something ended a relationship, caused you to stop talking to someone for a period of time. Whoever this is caused you to stop talking with. So somebody felt motivated. Somebody felt motivated. A couple felt motivated to talk to someone about you, right? So now some people want to come to you, want to come to your home as if something never happened. So some people were kind of hell-bent on, a couple was hell-bent on talking to you, talking to someone about you. A man and a woman was hell-bent on talking to someone and causing you nightmares. But there's two sides of the sword, okay? So yeah. So someone definitely sacrificed you after all the sacrifices that you made, right? Yeah. All right. So somebody was in the presence of toxic feminine energy that came from a man and a woman who said something about you that caused you all sorts of nightmares, sacrificed you and sacrificed someone else. So a man and a woman, and you got to understand the spirit. So it's 4 people. You had 2 Aries, right? These are all family members, right? This is the spirit of 4 family members. 2 Aries, right? Because 4 connects us with Aries, right? Who fed into something, right? Well, actually it's 4 Aries involved in something. So you're dealing with 4 energies that are impulsive, aggressive, and also impatient, that actually hung someone, emptied someone out of any feelings of you, that you're structured, that you're authoritative, that you're courageous, that you're energetic and pioneering, right? So any positive spirit about you whatsoever, all of that was emptied out in a person, right? Somebody emptied someone out that of you. All of that was emptied of you. So somebody feels very comfortable with being disrespectful towards you, because remember, before the 9 of Swords is 8 of Swords. So somebody had to say something to you disrespectful, right? That caused you to stop talking to them. So these 4 energies felt very comfortable in doing this. These are 2 karmic couples that did this. Completely empty someone out of that, right? So so that's a challenge. That is a challenge, right? So this could also speak to your Chiron, right? This could also speak to your Chiron. So find out what your Chiron is. So something could have really hurt you, a deep wound for you. That could be a deep wound for you. So please pull your birth chart, right? Please pull your birth chart. This is the year 9. This is the year 9, right? So 2025 is the year 9, right? So you do have love coming across your path. You are known for your friendliness, right? But don't ever get comfortable with disrespect. Don't ever get comfortable with disrespect, right? So here we have Page of Cups here. So somebody's going to get the message loud and clear that you understand that they were cloaked in someone else's energy. They're going to get the message loud and clear that someone... Okay, yeah, so this is a younger person. This could be somebody's niece or nephew or child, whoever it is. Because somebody wants to come home to you. They want to bring someone home to you, or they could be married. I don't know who it is. You also have new and exuberant love coming in. You have some good news coming in to you. You have a lot of good news coming in, right? You have a lot of good news coming in. And you're just now waking up from some nightmares yourself. So these people, like I said, were hell-bent on emptying this person out. Because here they are talking about some accomplishments that you were making. These people sitting around, you know, hell-bent on emptying this person out, like basically sitting around jealous, right? And again, here you are showing compassion towards these energies. There's a lot of things you could have said about these family members, but you didn't. And so they felt it necessary. These were impulsive actions, right? And these are energies that you actually prayed for and that you were working on something, but these energies didn't whether they found it out too late or after the fact, this energy had to sit there and be emptied out of something. So they essentially hung themselves. So, yeah. You notice it didn't even make it to 10 of Swords, or at least it didn't come out in the cards yet. So this energy right here is going to get the message loud and clear that you understand they were cloaked in someone else's energy. So you have new and exuberant love coming across your path. Your energy is very, very magnetic as well, right? You made a lot of sacrifices here. A lot of sacrifices here to empty yourself out for these energies. For these energies, you emptied yourself out. And I'm talking about financially, you emptied yourself out. Spiritually, you emptied yourself out. Physically, you emptied yourself out just to make some kind of move for these energies here, only for them to empty themselves out on this energy here to show how deep of the opposite kind of a spirit they have towards you. So you could have had a deep spiritual love for them, and they could have the opposite, deep spiritual hatred for you. So, hey, you're just now waking up from some nightmares. It is what it is. It is what it is. We are in, like I said, we are in the year 9, right? You're just now waking up from some things. So this is a rebirth for you. This is a rebirth for you. This is a rebirth. So you've mastered, here, this is right here, 8 of Pentacles here. You've actually mastered your craft. This is the 8 of Pentacles. You've actually mastered your craft. So you got the message loud and clear. They got the message loud and clear. Because as they were being emptied out, they're starting to remember this. They never said anything about these people. They can't even remember you saying anything negative about these people. And there's a lot of things you could have said, but you didn't. So that's what they're left with. They're left with one side of a story. That's what impulsive nature is. That's what an impulsive nature is. So you don't have to clear anything up. That's an immediate return to sender. So here's the Devil card. Yeah, that's an immediate return to sender. That mirror turned right back around. It turned right back around. So you're not chained to the devil. You're not chained to the devil. Remember, you and Capricorn both are ruled by, and we're not talking about a Capricorn, but this Capricorn's card here. You and Capricorn are ruled by Saturn, right? So something happened during a Saturn return. So in other words, instead of you getting into a tit for tat back and forth, you said this and I said that and this my side and this your side and blah, 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 blah. Just recognize that you all are motivated by different things. You're starting out with heart chakra, right? Heart chakra makes a connection. You already made a connection of who said what. And so now people want to come back around like, okay, something is new and exuberant and, you know, oh, wow. And now we're motivated and, oh, now we're recognizing all the sacrifices that people made and so on and so forth, because the mirror is now shined back, you know, on, because people are now hearing that you said about how people have made sacrifices. Right? You're only making room for divine feminine connections. That's the only thing you're making room for. Not toxic feminine connections. You have new and exuberant love. You got good news coming across your path. You understand how deep somebody wanted to send a young person a message about you, how deeply they hated you. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. Because that's not the message that you sent to other people about them. The message that you sent about them was about their deep sacrifices that they made. This is kind of like you hearing your grandparents say, like a lot of people hear their grandparents say, if you don't have anything nice to say about people, don't say anything at all, right? So remember, when you're moving on, you have a choice to take good memories with you. That's a choice. That is a choice to take good memories with you, right? And so when you choose to take good memories with you, you travel light. That's not being phony. That is like you're traveling light. It's literally in the physical realm. That's in the spiritual realm. In the physical realm, it's like, okay, you know, you don't realize how much you've accumulated over the years when you're packing up, when you're moving. You don't realize how much you got ketchup packets, you got salt packets in the drawers, you got mail that you should have thrown away because the expiration dates on coupons and all this other stuff. You're just tossing stuff in the trash can, right? That's toxic stuff. That'd be like, could you imagine taking trash bags of stuff and then getting rid of it when you get to your destination? That's wear and tear in your car. That's extra gas because it's weighing down on your vehicle. And now you got to fill up at, you know, shorter distances. All of that, right? But the mirror shine right back on some energies because now some energies are starting to hear Somebody spoke highly of you. They talked about the sacrifices you and somebody made. And somebody is now telling somebody, no, they talked about the sacrifices. And somebody's like, oh my God, something has just been a nightmare. And I'm just now waking up from, I had no idea. After they then told a younger person about you, about how horrible and a nightmare you are. They told somebody, 2 people, how much of a nightmare you and somebody. So, hey, like I said, here we have the King of Swords here. So that's fine. It's fine. You've lived many lifetimes. You've lived many, many lifetimes. So you understand when people are chained to being obsessed to something, they're obsessed with something, you know, keeping other people chained to them. They're chained to a lie. So, but you're smart enough and too high vibrational for that, right? These are family members, by the way. These are family members, by the way. So whoever you are, like I said, you are not going to, when you have people's backs, and I'm talking about when you are 10 toes down, you have people's back and you're taking good memories. It doesn't mean that people are perfect. It just means that you are choosing positivity over negativity. You understand what I'm saying? You're choosing to vibrate high. You're choosing the King of Swords. You're choosing that. You're saying, I choose that. Hey, you're not talking about people like they're perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect human being, but you are choosing to speak highly of people. You're saying, like, you understand people are in human form. People get up, they go to work. This is a choice, right? This right here, this is fire energy. This is developed between the ages of 15 through 21, right? So these are teenage years. Somebody could have been a teenage parent, teenage love affair, teenage whatever. You especially don't expect people to be perfect parents if they were teenage parents, right? Like and having a child, you don't expect people to be perfect as teenage parents to be. A lot of people are just now waking up from nightmares. A lot of people. So somebody hung themselves out to dry, you know, speaking negatively about you. This is somebody in your family. You don't expect people to be, I'm telling you. That's why I keep trying to tell you, Aquarius are no respecter of person. On this channel, we don't talk about if you are a single parent or if you are a single parent, single mom, single dad, you know, if you got kids by different people, so what? Who can stand in judgment of another human being? Not nobody, right? Nobody can stand in judgment of another human being. You don't know what another person's situation is. You don't. You really don't. I told y'all one time before, I used to work with this woman whose husband, I think when she was pregnant, her husband had gotten into a car accident. He lost his life. And she was instantly thrust into single parent. I think she had twins, but she was a single parent instantly. I knew that because we worked very closely together on the project. And she had to rush home to her twins. She had to go get her, you know, babies and things like that. She didn't have any support at the time because life just kind of like slammed on brakes for her. But if somebody didn't know it, they would just look at her as a single parent, right? She didn't even have time to wrap her head around the fact that she's still wearing her rings. Just this life just came like everything went flying to the front for her. But somebody would look at her like, okay, this woman, she got kids, she with the father. That's just how society is. And so when you teenage parents and somebody is basically giving you kudos that, hey, who is thinking straight as a teenage parent? Nobody. You still thinking having fun and. So anyway, or if you don't have the support, maybe sometimes people don't have support as, from families or, you know, something, people still trying to learn and all of this other stuff. So here you are, you've had many lifetimes before. This could look like you could have had several lovers. You could have been married several times yourself, right? You just trying to get it right yourself. You could have been trying your best, and here people are still hanging you out to dry. People are still hanging you out to dry, making it seem like they perfect, they have it right. So no, you're not welcoming energies into your life that's making it seem like you the Antichrist, you know, and they're perfect. So no, you can do without toxic feminine energy from a man or a woman in your life. You can do without that. You can do without it. So yeah, here we have the Ace of Cups here. Somebody has new love coming across their path. And this is where the overflow comes in. This is where the overflow comes in, right? This is Ace of Cups. Somebody didn't want to get to the root of something. Somebody didn't want to get to the root of something, right? Somebody didn't see your overflow of compassion towards them. This is where you're showing overflow of compassion towards yourself. Not only are you a very powerful leader, this is the King of Swords here, you're a very compassionate leader. Your tears mean something. This is libation to your ancestors right here. You don't need to pour out alcohol on somebody's grave. This is libation to your ancestors. This is you telling your ancestors, hey, I am so appreciative of all the sacrifices your ancestors made. It's not even funny. For you to be here where you are today. All the nightmares they went through. All the nightmares they went through, all the sacrifices your ancestors went through. All the chains they had to break, right? Just so you could work from home and master with the gifts that has been passed down to you. Look at the depth of the waters that you have. These are your spiritual gifts here. You know, so every generation coming after you, so that they can sit at home, they can have a choice of working from home. So gratitude doesn't even begin. Some Aquarians are first generation entrepreneurs. Some Aquarians are first generation, high school graduates. Some Aquarians are first generation college graduates. First generation, a lot of things, because you're standing on the shoulders of your ancestors who were chained to people who hunted them. Remember, we had a hunter's moon last full moon, right? Who hunted them, and savagely hunted them. So they've gone through many, many lifetimes, and said only to, again, just now waking up from nightmares, only to be hunted again. Only to be hunted again. So you have a little person, a child, for them to be hunted down and to be humiliated about you and you trying your best. They've been hunted down by your own family, and you're speaking highly of your own family. You're trying to get it right. So no, you don't need. This is where, and when I say toxic feminine energy, I'm not just talking about women. I'm talking about men and women that you spoke highly of and their sacrifices. So yeah, this is where you really pour into yourselves. Remember, it's genderless here. This is where you really pour into yourself. So somebody has new and exuberant love coming into your life, and you and somebody have new and exuberant love coming into your life, and you have some more good news. So you could be a job and new and exuberant love coming into your life. So you're emptied out. Source has turned everything upside down for you, meaning things have been reversed, meaning that you have been emptied out of the toxins in your spirit, right? This is where a full purge has happened. A full purge of toxicity has happened in your spirit, because that mirror has been turned right back around. You are in such a spirit of gratitude. Is really, really not even funny. This is how high vibrational you are when it comes to just your legacy moving forward. Yeah, you've awakened from nightmares. You still don't even see the Ten of Swords here. Because behind closed doors, you are literally thriving. You are literally thriving behind closed doors. So kudos and congratulations to you. Kudos and congratulations to you. You are the Hierophant. You are the Hierophant. You hold the keys. You hold the keys, right? Other people thought that they held the keys to you, that they would hang you out to dry. See, they had the opportunity to say, hey, I'm putting all this work in to make my descendants' lives better. So I'm not going to speak ill of my descendants. I'm going to make sure that I put this work in. Hey, after my ancestors put in all these sacrifices, I'm make sure my kids' lives are better than mine. Hey, and that's what you're doing. Whether you have kids or not, It could be for your nieces and nephews, whomever. You are the Hierophant. You are the Hierophant. So it's almost like people were looking to other people as if their lives were better than theirs, than their ancestors' lives. Like looking at other people's lives, trying to copy other people's lives. No, you're looking at your ancestors. You don't ever look at somebody else's ancestors or their family as being better than your family. No. Whose family is better than yours? Source didn't make any mistakes by putting you in your family. Even if you were adopted, for real, even if you were adopted, even if you were a bonus child in the family, it doesn't matter. Source didn't make a mistake. Did not make a mistake at all. So here we have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. Your work ethic is amazing. So here we have the Knight of Pentacles here. And that's what was passed down. That's what was passed down. Your work ethic. You're a hard-working person. You're not a lazy person at all. So congratulations. Here's the Three of Cups here. Congratulations. And that's what you talk about. You talk about people who are hardworking. You know, you talked about both of these energies. Whoever these energies are, they hardworking. You don't have to make any disparaging comments about people. When you see you come from a hardworking family, nobody has to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. Yeah, so when you go into hermit mode, the purpose of going into hermit mode is to have communion with your higher self. That's the purpose of going into hermit mode, right? So that the light can come on, right? Within. You can be enlightened within, right? So you can go into very meticulous mode. That's your sixth house, right? Virgos rule sixth house. And so you going into your sixth house, or you going back, right? So, and you're saying to yourself, let me go back. So seventh house, Libras rule seventh house. So whatever your zodiac sign is in, and you go back and you say, let me go to my higher self, whatever your sign is in your sixth house. And you say health and well-being, right? Daily work, health, routines, rituals, service, right? You go back through all of that and you start saying, okay, my ancestors, their health and well-being, right? Sixth house is a house of work and service. Here we humble ourselves to the task at hand, daily routines, duties, maintenance that put bread on the table and keep the body and mind in good working order, right? That's why some people could be crying right now, because they can't believe that how humble you are when it comes to how hard people have worked. You look at, if somebody was teenage parents and you just say, okay, some people pushed through. They worked really, really hard to, build the life that they built. And you're talking about something and a light came on for you and people are assuming certain things about you, Aquarius. And like I said, I'm saying victory for you. So a decision has been made for you. A decision has been made. You're a star. You're a star. And you're strong at that. People seeing just how strong you are. Justice is in your favor. And I'm saying fortune for you. People know you're not a fool at all. You're very successful and you're very positive. Very successful and very positive. And people know it. Very successful. You are not smoke and mirrors. You just don't want to deal with the toxicity. You don't want to deal with the toxicity, the drama, the chaos, and confusion. So good for you. So as this moon, like I said before, the moon moved into Scorpio. Scorpios are very passionate, resourceful, and brave. And so we don't have to talk about the dark side of every zodiac sign, right? So we're keeping it high vibration. We're not talking about a Scorpio. We're talking about the 8th house. Scorpios happen to rule 8th house. You're a very passionate person. You're very resourceful. You're very brave. And so you're waking up from some nightmares. And because people have so many things in common, here's the 9th house here, 9 of swords here. I'm seeing twin flame coming into your life, right? Twin flames will never burn you, just so we're crystal clear. Twin flames come into your life to, and this is a partnership in business and or in love. That's why I said you got some good news coming across your path. You could have a partnership coming into your business, into your life, in business, but you can also have a partnership coming into your life in love. Your twin flame will never burn you. They're there to inspire you spiritually, right? Really kind of like motivate you, add clarity to some things in business and or in love. They can be two separate spirits. They don't have to be the same, two separate spirits, because people realize that you mastered what you do. Whatever it is that you do, you mastered what you do. So, and this is you moving forward. This is you moving forward. So some people who may know some things about you just chose to pull out the worst in you and not the best in you. It's like literally siding with people who don't know you to be ruthless towards you, because it makes it almost, it's like siding with your enemies, people who see you as the enemy. It's like literally that. It's like family members that you would think are closest to you siding with the enemy. So that's and essentially that's self-hatred. If you can look at it that way, it's a form of self-hatred. I hate that part of myself so much. That's like like a lot of people would look at it as like I love myself so much, they would get offended. Don't talk about my so-and-so like that. But some people hate themselves so much, they like, oh yeah, we side with whomever that hates, and leave you out there naked and vulnerable. Your ancestors have a message. Listen to your inner voice. So create the change that you want. And so Angel Gabrielle, the messenger of God, is with you. So dream even bigger. Yeah, somebody's not dreaming big enough. You're a star. You've always been a star. You've always stood out. There's always hope for you. It's not as deep as you think. And that's what some people don't want you to believe. They don't want you to think it's just that deep, right? But you didn't have to go that far. That's what it really means. You didn't have to go that far to see how deep the hatred runs. That's what that means. It's not that deep. You didn't have to go that deep to see how deep the hatred runs. You're not getting into an argument with anybody about this at all. Well, you misunderstood, and I thought, and I heard this, because it's exposing secrets. That people were secretly watching you. If you got a storefront, they were secretly driving past your store, looking in, trying to see how many sales you were making. You had a line wrapped around your store. And they never stopped in. Oh, because they were still supporting other family members or friends. You had a beauty salon or a bakery, or maybe you had a spiritual shop or something like that. They supporting everybody else. And now all of a sudden want to come back in. Oh, I didn't notice you. They knew, right? So you're keeping things high vibrational. You just don't want the toxicity around. Here we have time to ground yourself. Time to ground yourself. So your gifts have actually increased. Yeah, so somebody's a druid, a kind of malevolent nocturnal spirit associated with nightmares. Trust your first mind. Yeah, so listen to your intuition. So their plan to disrupt your money backfired, right? So you have the gift of claircognizance. This is psychic knowledge about other people. And so there are signs all around you. Again, it's really just who they're linking up with. It really is who they're linking up with. And because they refuse to stop linking up with certain people, that's why it was hard for some people to hear anything about you. So I'm seeing a victory for you. Here we have ask source for clarity. Yeah, so somebody's an incubus spirit. Yep, it's time to expand your brand. Time to expand your brand. So be patient. The answers are coming. Your new home awaits. Your new home awaits. And so first new home is your physical body. That's your new home, right? So some of you all may be working out. Some of you all may be changing your hair, cutting your hair or growing your hair out or whatever you're doing, or shaving it off. Some of you all may be growing out a beard. Something, your new home is your physical body. That's first and foremost. But you're making some kind of changes. But the main thing is that you're purging. Some of you all may be, taking spiritual baths or spiritual showers. Some of you all may be just detoxing altogether. Your diet may be changing. A lot of things are changing about you because you've made a bold declaration that you're giving it all over to source. You're purging. You're releasing all of that to source. You're releasing it to source. So some people want to call you, but they haven't changed. So yeah. Yep, he apologizes for betraying you. I have no idea who he is. Throat chakra cleanse. Throat chakra, the frequency for that is 741. You're moving on in silence and you're moving on in peace. Moving on in silence and moving on in peace. More money is coming your way soon. So, and it may come slowly or rushing in or however it comes in, but thanks source in advance. But you can give it all over to source. For real, y'all can give it over to source. You don't have to sit there and keep replaying it, because the more and more you talk about it, the more and more you're reliving it. Y'all know how in the scary movies, when you want to invoke the boogeyman, right? You keep talking about it over and over and over again. You have something new coming in, and I'm trying to encourage you all to release it. Release it. That's purging, okay? The moon is currently in Scorpio. Like I said, this reading is for the 22nd through the 29th. 29th kicks off first quarter moon in Aquarius. You all are humanitarians, right? That is no respecter of person, right? You've lived enough nightmares. It is time to show compassion for yourselves. Y'all have already talked to people about the sacrifices that all the people in your lives made. You've talked about it, right? But you also have been in receiving mode of how people really feel about you. So that's all you need to know. That's it. That's all you need to know. You don't need any more explanation. You don't need to talk about it anymore. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know. You don't need to know why. You don't need to hear, I thought, somebody told me, I misunderstood. You got it. You heard it. Somebody felt like something was their way or the highway. They had to get it out. Hey, it is what it is. They had to get it out. You're okay with it? Hey, they got it out. Once you hear something, sometimes it's hard to unhear something, right? So whoever they needed to get it out to, they needed to get it out. They needed to say something. They needed to get something out. They needed to say something. They heard a snippet of something that they heard you say because they wanted to record something, and you were very well aware of what they were doing. They heard a snippet of something. They misunderstood something, right? So you don't need to go back and forth. You don't need to go back and forth with anything. You don't need to go. It is what it is. Just let it rest in peace. Just let it rest in peace, right? That number 9, let it rest in peace, right? That energy does not need to come through number 10. What you got going on behind closed doors, leave it right there. You have something new. You have some nice news coming in. I'm telling y'all, somebody else had to explain, 2 other people had to explain to some couples what you said, and that's when it hit some people like a ton of bricks. That's when it became valid. When 2 other people, when 2 other leaders had to come in and explain some things that what you said, and that's when it became valid. When you talked about the sacrifices that they made, then all of a sudden it was valid. But before then, nothing nobody else said was valid. So, okay. So that's what it is. So yeah, it's not that deep anymore. It's not that deep. You didn't have to go that far. It's right in your family. Surrender. So learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hardest to stop trying to control the whole universe. Yeah. You're just releasing it. Releasing it. I'm telling you, Source, I'm telling y'all, you all are ruled by Saturn, and you're also ruled by Uranus. This is the Fool card here. Source is saying, I told you to release something a long time ago. A lot of people cannot, it's hard to release certain energies a long time ago because you did not realize what was being said about you after all the sacrifices were made. But sometimes it's almost like you got to hear it for yourself. You know, like something can be right in your face in your family, and you don't want to believe something. Whoever you are, I don't know who I'm talking to, but Source says it's almost like somebody had to be sacrificed in order for you to see it right in your face. And now you see it, and now you believe it. And so Source said, now you believe it. Okay, now you can move on. Now you can move on, right? Now you can finally move on. So hopefully this is the last reading. I mean, if unless source tells me for somebody else, if I have to go down to a lower frequency to help other people come through and then come back up to a higher frequency. But justice is in your favor. But yeah, that would be the only reason why I have to go back down to a lower frequency to help other people who could be at a lower frequency to come back up. But so many people have the same thing in common. Just how you see things could be vastly different than how loved ones see things. You could be speaking highly of them in private, and they could be speaking lowly of you in private. And so sometimes you don't find that out until later. Sometimes you don't find that out until later. So it's time for you to dream even bigger. But see, you see how this person right here is just releasing. You're just letting somebody just move on. All right, that's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. And so continue manifesting. Continue manifesting. Okay. Yeah. Here it is. You have psychic abilities, right? You have psychic abilities, right? So good luck to you. Somebody may have seen a black cat. I don't know when you would have seen it, but continue operating in the spirit of love, because that's what you're manifesting. Love, right? I'm saying some kind of reconciliation here. Yeah. That is what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful, and I will see you in the next video. All right, let's get ready for the get ready. All right, continue being innovative, independent, and also visionaries. But yeah, just release those loved ones. Like I said, continue operating in love and light, and continue your third eye, like I said, is wide open. Continue manifesting, continue landing on the light side of your emotions. This is moon. Find out what your moon sign is. Continue landing on the light side of your intuition, light side of your emotions, light side of your feelings, the light side of things. You travel lighter. You will travel lighter, right? And so it's heavy to carry all those. You'll end up carrying nightmares with you. Release all of that. Purge every cycle. Purge. Just make a decision. Purge. Toss all of that into a burning bowl, right? So that's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. See you in the next video. Bye.